Hi, everyone. For those of you joining us new, my name is Tiff. I'm the behavior manager at the Humane Society of Western Montana. I'm also a certified professional dog trainer. For those of you who have been watching our live streams, welcome back. I love doing these puppy live streams because I love training with my puppy Paya, and I love sharing training tips with anyone in our community. Tonight's topic is distracted puppy. So if you have a puppy, you're probably nodding your heads in agreement. Like distracted, yes, all the time, right? Except when you're trying to work and then they're biting your hands all the time. We have a live stream for that, by the way, and it's free and you can look at it on our YouTube channel. So distracted puppy, what this is going to cover is if you are going out with your puppy, whether it's into your front yard or you're taking them out to socialize, which you should be doing, and maybe your puppy doesn't really care that you're there. Like your puppy is pulling, your puppy is maybe barking at other dogs or people or sniffing and picking up everything with their mouths and just straight up ignoring you. If anything that I said resonates with you, then you're in the right place. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you a bunch of easy and effective training techniques that you can do with your puppy to help build their focus. I'm going to talk over how you would implement these tips. And I'm going to, at the end, show you some videos of me doing this in a real life situation. So without further ado, let's get started. And if you're joining in today with your puppy, what you're going to need is your puppy and their standard walking equipment, such as their leash and their collar, or a harness if you're going to put them on a harness, and about half a cup to a cup of your puppy's kibble. I always like to say that it is so beneficial to use your puppy's dinner for training with them, like I am doing tonight with my puppy. All right, now we're going to get started. So as always, Paya is occupied. She has a food toy right now, and I'm going to get her out of the pen to start our first exercise together. All right, just get the camera positioned. Okay. Ready, Paya? Awesome. All right, let me just get her on leash. And I do this almost every live stream because I recognize there might be some new puppy owners with us, but puppies struggle with getting gear on and off. So if this is new to you and your puppy, have treats ready in one hand, the leash clasp in the other, and just lure them with that the kibble as you clip the D-ring. No struggling. All righty. So the first exercise we're going to do is called a check-in. A check-in is when your puppy makes eye contact with you. And eye contact is so important. When your puppy is distracted, like my puppy is now, one thing that they're not doing is they're not giving you eye contact. Good, there's that eye contact. And when your puppy is looking at you and giving you eye contact, looking you in the eyes, not at your treat pouch, not at your shoes, yes, look at how focused she is. She is with me right now. Even though there are things on the ground and whether she wants to explore the room, here she is. Of course, with the puppy, eye contact is fleeting, right? She's going to get distracted really quickly. But here's the thing about training. All training, this is just behavior science. Any behavior that you reward will happen more. So if I reward her for looking me in the eye, it doesn't mean that's all she's ever going to do. She's going to look at me more. Yes. So your first job right now, if you have a dog or a puppy with you, is to just hold them on leash. Don't tell them to do anything. I want you to time in your head by counting how long it takes for your dog or puppy to check in with you without you holding a treat out, without you waving your hands. Just stand here and wait them out. Yes. When they do offer eye contact, mark, we call this marking and rewarding, say good or yes, and give them a treat. Yes. Yes. Here's an example of how I can make this much more technical. Just gonna slow phone here. I'm trying to pull up my timer here. or stopwatch. So I can literally do this. I can, let's say my puppy's distracted at a stopwatch. I can hit start. How long does it take for her to check in? Oh, it took 1.65 seconds. Yes. And restart. Oh, well, she's doing it so fast. She's checking in faster than I can hit the buttons, which is a really good problem to have. So I'm not going to get too nitty gritty into behavior, even though that's what I always want to talk about. But training is a science, right? If I did a study on this, the time that she takes to offer a check-in should reduce over time. And the reason why I do want to touch on that briefly is, we're training in our living rooms right now, presumably, and everything that I tell you to do today, what's going to happen is you're going to go out into the world tomorrow or tonight for your puppy's maybe potty walk, and you're going to try to do this, and it's going to feel like it takes so much longer. You might think, well, it just doesn't work outside. I can guarantee you it works. Yes, you just need to give it time to work in a new environment. That said, this is why we're starting easy in a familiar environment. And we're going to build on this. This is just a general foundation skill. Of course, I don't want your puppies to just be little statues and stare at you outside. I want them to play and sniff and run around, but I also want them to think, to check in with you, to focus. Yes. Okay, so we're going to build on it right now, actually. What we're going to do is we are going to not only reward them for checking in, yes, we're also going to tell them when we're done with them checking in. So now I'm going to have 2 treats ready. And when my puppy checks in, yes. And the second time she checks in, I'm going to give her what's called a release cue. This is a word that means you have permission. So you have permission to go sniff. You have permission to go sniff that tree. And when she checks in the second time, I'm going to say that word, free, and throw the treat for her. Now, a lot of people use okay as a release cue, and that's fine too. So I'm going to repeat this pattern a few times. I have 2 treats ready. It's good to hide them. Yes. Mark and reward for the eye contact the first time. Free. Release and toss for the second time. It takes a little bit of practice to remember what words to say and what to do with your hands. So it is absolutely worth practicing this a few times, which we'll do together. She's onto her food toy now. Ready? All right, I'm actually going to use this food toy as a distraction later. So yes, for checking in. Free. Tossing the second one. I'm just going to do this a few times, and feel free to train along with your dogs from home. So she's distracted. I'm just going to stand here. Yes. Mark and reward that check-in. Free. Toss the second one. Yes. Free. And do one more. Yes. Free. Awesome. Okay, so what this little add-on does is it teaches your puppy, oh, I got to focus on my person. That's just the thing I should do, even when they're standing there not telling me to do anything. And the second thing about adding the release cue, teaches them is, okay, now my person's done with me checking in with her. Now I get to go do something else. When I show you the video at the end, you're going to see the implementation of this. But think about it this way. You want your puppy to default to being calm and looking at you. But you also want to let them know, okay, now we're done training. You get to go be a puppy, so to speak. All right. So here's another add-on, and we're building on focus. Focus is the big theme of today, but we're building in so many ways. I can go over 10 different skills with you and have them be different skills, and those can be 10 useful skills. But for today, distractions are such a hard thing to overcome in the environment. I'd rather you walk away from this live stream getting really good at this one skill and knowing how to generalize it in your day-to-day routine, rather than focus on 10 different skills and not do or be too spread thin, focusing on too many different things. So here's what I'm going to do. I call this hands of a clock with my clients because we're going to move our arms as if they're the hands of a clock. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a treat in my hand, and I'm just going to, you don't need to bend down. I'm just going to bend down so you can see my face. I'm going to hold the treat out, hands of a clock. And if naturally your puppy's going to look for the treat, right? Because they want the treat, they're going to look at it. If they jump up for it, just pull it away. But what you're looking for is for them to check in with you. The moment she makes eye contact with me, I'm going to mark and then give the treat to her. Yes. And I'm going to bring it to her really fast. Yes. And I'm going to change the position of the treat. Yes. I'm actually going to rotate in a second so you can see her eyes a little better. I'm going to switch hands. Yes. So I'm looking at her pupils. I know her head is still turned towards the treat hand, but watch your dog's pupils. I'm going to reorient here. You're not going to be able to see my face, but hopefully you can see her face a little better. So watch her eyes. Yes. So notice how I'm marking by saying yes or good the moment she offers eye contact. Yes. Even if it's for just a millisecond. Yes. Yes. If you have a dog or puppy at home, go ahead and give this a try. I'm going to do a few more and then I'll explain what we're doing in further detail. Switch hands. I'm going to put this food toy down. My arms are really limited when I hold it like that. Yes. 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 So she was trying many different behaviors, but eye contact was the right one. Free. All right. So why are we doing this? We're doing this because we're introducing a new situation while we're building the same skill. What she's learning is even though there's something that she wants that that's not us, such as food or another dog or a toy on the ground, she needs to check in with me, yes, for permission to access the thing that she wants. Yes. Really, when dogs are distracted, they're lunging and pulling to say hi to a dog, or just they can't wait to just go pull you into the park and drag you around. I mean, your dogs still love you, of course, but they just want to access something with impulsively, right? I see a stick, I go get it. And here, what I love about this training, many things I love about this training, but one thing I really love is I'm not trying to deprive anything from my puppy. I want her to be able to sniff and run around and play with sticks and say hi to dogs and play with toys. Yes, I want her to do all the things that puppies love to do. But this simple training simply teaches her that she needs to check in with me for permission before going to do what she wants to do. That's as simple as it gets. And as always, I didn't say this in the beginning. I always should say this in the beginning. If you have any questions along the way on this live stream, please enter them into the chat or in the comments section, and I will try to address questions as we go. If there is a question I don't address during this live stream, I will provide a contact information at the end so that you can reach out to me and my team whenever you want to get free behavior advice. Okay. So we're going to take this concept and implement it in two different ways now. In the first example, I'm going to take something my puppy wants, such as a treat or a toy. So I'm going to hold her leash. I'm going to explain this very carefully. What I'm going to do is I'm going to toss something out of reach for her. I don't want her to hit the end and get hurt, or I don't want to yank her back. So what I'm going to do, ready, Claire? Is I'm going to hold the leash short and I'm going to throw something out of reach. So here's a treat. I'm going to toss it out of reach. If she is lunging or pulling for it, she knows this game. I'm just going to stand back and not let her get it, right? But I'm not yanking her either. Guess what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for her to check in. Yes. So I'm going to reward that. And then remember the thing we just did. Free. Check in and release. The only difference with this exercise is that second treat is on the, hey, come on. The second treat is on the ground rather than in your hand. That's really the only difference here. This is why she still drags a leash in the house, because if she just tries to do something I don't want, like jump on the couch, I don't need to grab her. I can just lead her away. All right, so here we go back to the exercise we are doing. Ready? So hold the leash short because I don't want your puppies yanking to the end or anything. I am going to toss something that she wants out of reach, whether it's a treat or a toy. Yes, reward that eye contact and wait them out if they're pulling or trying to get the treat. Just wait them out. They're going to learn that pulling and ignoring you doesn't work. And then the second time she checks in, free. I'm going to give her permission to go get that treat. Oh, it's right there. You got it. So let's practice this a few times together. Short leash, treat out of reach. Reward check-in, yes. Free, release. Treat out of reach. Ignore the pulling. Yes, reward the check-in. Free. Release with the next check-in. I'm going to do it with the toy. Shorten the leash. Throw it out of reach. Yes, reward the check-in. Free. Release to get the thing that she wants. Yay, you got it. You got that little toy. I'm going to do it one more time. And untangle. Shorten the leash. Throw the toy. Yes. Reward the check-in. Free. Release the thing she wants. How excellent. Yay. You got it. You got it. Yeah. All righty. So I don't see any questions in the chat, and we're going to move forward with this. The second scenario we're going to practice this in is how you're going to implement this when you're starting off on a walk or getting out of the car with your puppy. For a lot of dogs, the biggest time that they're distracted is when they first come out, whether it's coming out the front door, coming out of the crate, coming out of your car at a new hiking trail. And we're going to do the same thing. Now, how you start any activity with your dog can determine the entire course of the rest of your session with them. So you can bet that if I get out of my car and my dogs are lunging and barking and pulling, which doesn't happen because I do these exercises, we're absolutely not going to start our hike. The reason for that is I don't want my dogs to learn to just get overly excited when we are starting a hike. And when you implement this exercise, what your puppy can learn now when they're young, and especially as they grow up and enter that crazy teenage stage, is the calmer they are, the faster the fun starts. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put myself and Paya in the pen, and let's make pretend that is the front door or a car. Ready, Paya? So here I go. I'm going to pen myself in. Or I'm actually going to do this just so you guys can see better. And I'm gonna, just for the sake of example, I'm gonna sprinkle some treats or kibble on the ground here. So this represents the door, your front door, the crate door, the car door. The thing that your puppy wants is out in the world, right? So here's what we're gonna do. We're going to gear our puppies up because we're ready to go out for a walk. And instead of just opening that door, I'm gonna spend just a few seconds, yes, rewarding this check-in. Yes. So every time she makes eye contact, I'm just rewarding her. Yes. When my puppy is calm and checking in, I'm going to slowly open the door. I'm keeping the leash pretty short. Yes, I'm going to continue rewarding check-ins because she's still learning. What she's learning is even though the door is open, doesn't mean jump out of the car, doesn't mean run out the front door, doesn't mean lunge for the treats or the dog. Yes, we're still checking in here. And then I release her, free. And now she gets to go sniff, we start our walk, we get out of the car, we start our hike. Let's practice this again. So at home, I don't know what your setup looks like at home, but you can put your puppy in their crate, close their crate door, and feed them through the bars as if or crack the door open and feed them through that crate door. That can mimic working on this scenario and teaching your puppy to be calm in the car before coming out. Yes. So I'm rewarding check-ins. Yes. Yes. Even though the door opens, I'm still going to reward check-ins. And again, just for the sake of example, let's say she gets up and starts pulling. I'm just going to stand here. The fun does not start. Yes. Yes. And free. Now the fun starts. She is doing such a great job. Okay. All right. I'm going to do one more example of the same skill, implemented it in a more advanced way. And then I'm going to go over some different fun skills. And I'm going to show you how all of this ties together in the real world. Okay. So let me just fix this real quick. Like I keep saying, we're working on the same skill. I just want you to walk away from today's live stream understanding how to implement this in many different ways. So I'm going to throw a distraction on the ground. So there's a bunch of kibble or treats back there, and I'm going to start the same way. Yes, rewarding that check-in. Yes. But now, instead of immediately releasing her, I'm just going to move 3 feet in a different direction, but not at the distraction. Yes. Yes. And I'm going to move 3 feet in a different direction, but I still don't want her to access the distraction. So see how she kind of pulled that way? Because she thought, oh, we're done because we're moving, right? Nope, we're not done yet. Yes. Yes. So I'm just rewarding 2 or 3 check-ins, then moving somewhere else. Yes. Yes. And after moving just a few times and she then checks in again, free. I'm going to let her go get the treats on the ground. So you can see that even though she's really good, we're still working on this. What this step teaches your puppy, not even step, this variation, what this teaches your puppy is even when you start moving, it doesn't mean they just drop their focus on you and go get distracted. They need to kind of sustain their focus on you and keep checking in. And only when you say the release cue do they go get the thing. How this is implemented in real life is you're going to get more than just your puppy staring at you and then completely ignoring you for the rest of the walk. They're going to learn to continue to check in and be calm and focused even when you start moving. So I'm going to do that again. I'm just going to hold the leash short. Again, this doesn't teach her anything. The leash is absolutely useless for training. The leash is useful for preventing her from accessing something before I give her permission. Yes, that is so cute. All right, so I have some food. I'm just going to throw it out of reach. Yes, so she's checking in with me. I'm going to reward that. Yes, and I'm going to move. Yes. We're on screen. So she's pulling. I'm just going to ignore her. Keep the leash short enough that your puppy cannot reach it. Yes, you should not need to yank them if the treat is far enough or if your puppy is far enough. Yes. And then I'm going to move. Yes. Free. And now I give her permission to go get it. All right, great question. So one question is, if the puppy starts going wild after the fun starts, when you step out, do you stand there again? Absolutely. And I'm going to describe it, and then you're going to see it in the video that I'm going to share at the end here. This doesn't mean your puppy doesn't get to go wild and be a puppy. There's no way we're going to stop that. So imagine this, where I'm sitting now, is me getting out of the car, and I'm rewarding my puppy, and then I say free, and she goes wild. Maybe I want to let her go sniff, like walk 10 seconds, let her pick up a stick, let her sniff that tree and pee and poop. But after I give her some time to do that, then we're going to stop, and we're going to reset from square one. And what she's going to learn is, okay, I had my fun. I earned it because you gave me permission but now I need to reset and refocus on you to access the next set of distractions that I'm allowed to have. Yes. So here we are in the park. We got out of the car and now she sniffed and she played a bit. Yes. And now we're just going to refocus. Just let's calm down together and free. Okay, let's go to this new section of the park. Let's sniff over here and all of that. Great question. And I always want to emphasize, because I said this in the beginning, but I can't say it enough. The goal of this is not to turn your puppy into a robot, right? I'm not saying when you go to a park, your puppy needs to be perfectly focused and stare at you, because that's impossible. And that's not why we got puppies. We're just adding a little bit of training in the beginning of it and sprinkling it throughout your outing so that they also learn to focus rather than just go find their own entertainment. Great question. Another question is just asking or wanting to see how this looks like coming out of the car, which I don't have a video of the whole. Oh, I do actually. I'm going to show it to you later. So this is great. Okay. Another great question. Well, so many good questions, but I'll answer these two quickly because they're quick questions. One is this video going to be available later? Absolutely. They're going to be available on our Facebook page, and we are editing them down and posting them on YouTube, so that may take a little bit longer. The other great question is, do you gradually stop using treats? Great question. I get this at least once each live stream. Oh, thank you for telling me. I get this question, the treats question, at least once each live stream. I say the same thing, which is you will not see me in the world with my puppy without at least 2 treat pouches and a toy on my person. The reason for that is puppies are distracted. They're learning about the world. Of course, they want to interact with everything. You might think that if you don't bring treats, you can just take a break from training. That's not the case. Training is the process of learning. Your puppy is learning all the time. If you are not prepared to reward your puppy, the environment will reward your puppy by sending you deer and dogs and poop and all sorts of distractions. And your puppy will just learn, oh, why do I want to pay attention to the person? Person doesn't have anything rewarding, but the world does. And that's where you get problems like dogs being overly distracted or even reactive towards things in the world. But also, when training gets to the point where you have the behaviors you want and they're reliable in the environment that you want them, absolutely feeding treats is part of it. But you will not hear me talk about feeding treats in a puppy live stream because puppies are learning and growing, and there's no way I'm done teaching her when she is still in this phase of development. So I hope that gives you some perspective as to how complicated a question the treats question is. All right, so I'm just gonna very briefly talk about some fun activities you can do with your puppy out there with them so that they learn that you're the most exciting thing. And then we're gonna wrap up with me showing you a video of me doing this in a real situation. So rewarding check-ins if your puppy is food motivated, yes, is always a great thing to do, but you or your puppy might get bored with just this. So this is the foundation. You can also ask or teach your puppy a lot of other fun behaviors, just ways to interact with you that are playful yet appropriate. One of my favorite skills is hand targeting. Target, yes, yes, yes. See how she loves that? I'm teaching her to touch her nose to my hand. Yes. So that gets her moving a bit, but it's still very focused on me. The way you teach this, there are so many ways to teach it, but one of the easiest ways is just to hold a treat between your fingers like this and just let your puppy eat it. And do this 5 times. So just it doesn't matter which fingers you put them in between, but just put the treat, oh, it's slipping out. Okay, there we go. Just let them eat it. Open palm, like you're showing them the signal. There just happens to be a treat between 2 fingers. After doing it 5 times, here's what you're going to do. Have the treat in one hand and hide it, and then present an empty palm. The moment their nose touches your empty palm, because they're looking for the treat, say your marker word, and then give them the treat from the other hand. Yes. Yes, but the treat comes from this hand. So if you touch this hand, yes, the treat comes from this hand. I have the treat hidden. If you touch this hand, Yes, the treat comes from this hand. And then when your puppy gets good, you don't even need to have a treat ready in your hand. Ready, Maya? Yes. Yes. Yes, this game is also really useful if your puppy is really mouthy with their hands because it teaches them to touch it with their nose gently rather than, clawing at your sleeves with their teeth, or mouthing your sleeves, I should say. So look at how fun this can get. Yes. Yes. So look at how focused she still is on me, but we're just interacting in a different way, all on my terms. Yes. Awesome. The other game you can play is a treat toss game. So get it. And what you're doing, puppies are so bad at finding tossed treats. She's older now, so she's good at this. But if your puppy is really young, what you can do is slow it down. So show them the treat, then say get it and toss it. So like this, get it, and just like toss it a little bit. Just scoot it against the ground a little bit. So you got to show it to them first if your puppy is new to the world. Ready, Paya? Show it to them. Get it, and just toss it a little bit. But then when your puppy gets really good at this, which they will if you practice, get it. Oh, did that go out of bounds? It's all right, I have another one for you. Ready, get it. Get it. And look at how you can combine different activities together. So check in, get it. Target, get it. Target, get it. All of this is teaching your puppy, my person is fun. That is what you're teaching them. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put her back into her pen with her food toy. Oh, thank you. Do you want to bring that? Yes. He's good at fetching things because we worked on that skill. And then I'm going to show you videos of this happening in the real world. Alrighty. I know you want your food toy back. Interrupted snack time. All right. I'm just gonna realize this. Ooh. Ready for it? Yeah. All right. Okay. One question is where I got my treat pouch. Disclaimer, I'm not here to endorse any specific company or products. I have a lot of treat pouches, but this, if you just Google or on Amazon, if you type in silicone treat pouch, this is one of the first ones that pop up. All right. So I'm going to do a screen share and I'm going to show you videos. Where is, okay. Okay, so this first video I want to show you, and all of these videos are recent. Within, when did I upload this? January 28th is this video, and the other two videos I'm going to show you are from within this week. So very, very recent. Oh, and I just want to explain what I'm showing to you first. I want to show you that my puppy is a normal puppy. Like you might think, oh, I'm a trainer, she's perfect, she never gets distracted. Or you might think, oh, you just got lucky and got a puppy that isn't interested in people or dogs. Not the case. In this video, watch as she runs up to a dog without permission. No, she didn't because I called her, but watch her lunge on leash after I called her because she wants to really go to the distraction. So I take her leash. Okay, so I'm going to pause it right there. And nothing exciting happens for the rest of it except I regain her focus, but very normal, right? I absolutely would not let her even get that close if I didn't know with 99.9% sureness that I could call her back. And you hear me apologize to the owner too, because truly I thought she would disengage and not get that close, but I misjudged because I'm not perfect. And thankfully I was able to call her back rather than her disrupting that person's walk and getting up to the dog that is on leash. You can also see some, oh, where's that clip? Some piloerection or hackles. Her hackles are funny. See this little tiny bump on her tail, and she gets it on the base of her tail too sometimes. But when your dog's hackles come up, it just means that they're really excited or stressed. Stress could be good or bad. So you can tell this was just a really high arousal situation. She was feeling impulsive. Even when I got her back, she was lunging, right? And not barking, but if I let this go, absolutely it would get worse. She would just get frustrated. She would lunge and bark more. So very, very normal puppy. But I mean, there is a reason why I want to show it to you though. Training does take time. It didn't take that much time. I mean, think about what your puppy would do if you got out of the car and, oh, here comes an off-leash dog and a person, and okay, now here comes a jogger, and then you're not going to see me at DNRC on a Sunday actually, because I just don't want to deal with it. But what she's learning is, even though there are off-leash dogs and smells and people, stay calm, check in with me, and all the fun happens with me. So I didn't do hand targeting in that video. I did get it, but I could have done hand targeting. And it wouldn't be fair to just expect a puppy to be obedient and boring and just stare at you the whole time. You need to give them something back. You need to show them that you are a source of reinforcement too, because the world certainly is when we're competing against the world. So I have treats for check-ins. I have different treats. I have toys. I have different tones of voices. I can play with her physically, like hand targeting. And this is why if you see me out in the world with her and she sees you or your dog, yeah, she's a puppy. She's going to get excited, but she's really going to quickly check in with me, because she has also learned that even though the world is distracting, her person is also very, very exciting. And it's a lot of effort, right? But it's all going to pay off, because when your puppy learns that you're the best thing ever, even though the world is distracting, when they mature a bit and when they grow up, you're not going to have to do that whole sequence. They're just going to see a dog or a different distraction, and think, I like dogs, but I'm not crazy. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to lose my cool because I've been reinforced for weeks and months for being calm and checking in with you. That's the whole goal to all of this. There are so many layers to working around distractions. This is only the tip of the iceberg. But if I had to just choose one set of skills, it would be the check-in. And everything I did with you today is something that I do every day with my personal dogs. So I know it works, and I hope you see success with it too. I went a little long today, but I hope you took away something valuable here. I'm just going to share our information screen real quick. So if you have any further questions, you know how to contact us. Here we go. So you can reach me and my team at this email address, behavior@myhswm.org. Every Wednesday and Thursday at 6 o'clock through the winter, we're going to be doing these free live streams. Wednesday is focused on puppy skills, so everything I talk about applies to adult dogs too. And Thursdays is our behavior spotlight, where we present on a variety of topics, coming when called, trick training. Meg is presenting tomorrow with her excellent dog Volta, and I believe she is talking about how to train your dog to be calm. And even though it's not targeted to puppies, towards puppy owners and puppies, you are more than welcome to join, because I think you're going to have a great time with that too. With that said, thank you so much for tuning in tonight, and have a really great evening. I hope to see you guys next week.